Welcome to Wrinkles Society of Hope. My name is Summer Carter and I'm the owner and founder of Wrinkles. Thank you so much for coming today. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for continuing to support Wrinkles. Today, my Soror has come today to share her stories of the wrinkles that she has pressed through in life as a breast cancer survivor like myself. However, she is also running for office. I can't wait for you to hear her amazing things that she is doing as she takes the streets and trample through all the things that she needs to do to make change. Hey, don't forget to hit subscribe and share our channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can hear about the amazing wrinkle stories that are coming. Continuing to follow us, listen in on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and know that we are here to interview with you. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to hear from you. Hi, Wrinkles family. I am back. We are in May, and we are going to simmer down for the summer. But before we were doing that, I had to bring this amazing, beautiful Soror of mine to the Wrinkles family. And so I'm going to have her introduce herself to you fabulous people.
Good. Oh, well, hey, Sam. I don't know if I will just good. Who knows where you may be? You may be in a different time zone. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You could be anywhere in the world. That's the crazy part about being able to do things like this now. We can connect with people everywhere. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to some. My name is Tanya Flanagan. I am so pleased to be on Wrinkles Society of Hope with my Soror Summer. I live in Las Vegas. I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am a lot of things. Among those things, I'm a 3-time breast cancer survivor. I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend. I'm also a candidate for office. So I'm running for the state legislature here in Nevada. So I am just busy doing a lot of things. I'm a community activist. I work every day. I'm a dog owner, dog lover, people lover. I'm a solution-oriented person. So I do a lot of things. I'm a journalist. So I have worn a few hats. Yeah. So that's kind of it without giving the whole baby away, and we get into the conversation and peel the layers of the onion back. So, and I am a proud member of the Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You wear a lot of hats. OMG. Yeah. I thought I knew, but I didn't have a clue. I probably still don't have a clue. That is a lot of hats. And look at your amazing, no wrinkles face. Oh my goodness, because that's a lot to carry.
I was looking in the mirror the other day going, I need some more sleep. This life about to make me look old. My dad always says you need sleep or you'll look old. And I am in the middle of my campaign for the state legislature for Assembly District 7, which is about a universe of about 25,000 people within the whole 2.5 billion people that we have down here in Southern Nevada, and not counting all the people that we have in the state of Nevada. But the only people who can vote for me are those who live in my assembly district. And so that universe of voters is about 25,000 people that I'm trying to reach, which is more than a notion, because early voting starts at the end of this month on May 25th. So yeah, that's me. See,
yes,
that's a boomerang on the show. Vote Tanya Flanagan. But yeah, so it keeps me super busy.
So how do you feel sometime when you look in the mirror and not getting some sleep? You might see a little physical change. How do you feel about that?
You know, what I don't like I feel like you get blotchy. You know, I don't know if other people do. I feel like I get a little blotchy when I'm not getting enough rest. The most important thing you can do, no matter how busy you get trying to chase after a goal or a dream, is not to lose sight of the importance of self-care. And that is good diet, some exercise, drinking enough water, and getting sleep, and having that time to meditate and make sure you keep God in focus is the most important. Because one thing you do is you run all week, and I don't know if you're a churchgoer person, but say you are. And on Sunday morning, it's the one day you really have the option of, I could go to church, I could just watch it online, but fellowship is really important sometimes. So I think that in life, when you start to feel run down, make sure when you're busy and you're chasing a dream or you're chasing a goal, or you're pushing for something, self-care is still very much a focal point, and you're getting sleep, you're eating well, and you're eating on time. Because for a minute there, I was so busy, I wasn't eating lunch until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like we get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, have a cup of coffee and some water. If I put anything in my mouth, because coffee suppresses your appetite. So now you're running. Next thing you know, the window to eat passes, and it's 2 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock, and I'm like, why am I gaining weight? Oh, because my body is storing fat because I'm not eating. So I've slowed my own metabolism down without even wanting to do that. So I had to pause and go, you need to eat. You need to drink your water. You need to eat. You need to get your exercises. I recently had two meniscus tears, one on the right leg, one on the left leg, too. Crazy. It's a whole nother story. But physical therapy, doing the exercises is very important, and just important overall to general health. And as women, we lose muscle. So it's important for us to exercise and to do strength training and strength building. As you get older, men are different. They don't, but we lose muscle. And so it's important to get that exercise as well. So just keeping the things that are going to help me be healthy as a cancer survivor, in focus for as long as I can. Yeah. And sleep is crucial.
Yeah.
And especially in this world where we spend a lot of time on computers, the technology, the tech neck, the tension, the stress, the continued weight of more responsibility. And then not everyone is excited for me. So I feel like there's definitely somewhere in the universe, probably some pushback. So managing that too.
Yeah, the weight of the world can be so heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to run through it anyway, carrying all that weight. Can you talk about a time where you had to press through a weight of the world, a wrinkle that you had to press through in your life?
I think I thought, because as I mentioned, it's my third. I've had three different diagnoses with breast cancer. The third one was the most taxing, right? Because first one, I was probably like anybody is when something happens to you. You just want the doctor to fix it. I was 32. Just fix it. Like, what is this? Get it back right. I'm young. They caught it early. The second one, I was angry. Just like, didn't we already do this? Why are we back here again? Angry. The third one, I did a lot of stuff to be a person fighting breast cancer. I literally ran for office. I ran the Urban League. I was the youngest board member. I was 35 when I joined the Las Vegas Urban League Board of Directors, and I was the youngest member of the inaugural board. And so a few years into being on the board, breast cancer came back. Second time, both of the second and the third time. And during my recovery period after the third one, I decided to throw my name in the hat then for a political race. And I tied in the primary and had to pull a card in Vegas fashion and brought the dealer out, shuffled the deck, put the green felt table down. Girl flipped the cards, did some card tricks, laid the cards out, and we had to pick cards. And I picked the lower cards. So I got put out of my campaign race. And that was how that ended. It was crazy. But at work, I still had to press through because I didn't ever stop working. So I worked through chemotherapy. I went to work. I had chemo on a Wednesday. I came back to work on the Thursday morning. I had a mandatory meeting because we had a big project going on to migrate the website at the time. And I had to go get a secondary shot to support the chemotherapy. But I worked up until the time to leave to go get the shot, and then I would be off. But just pressing through that period of trying to be focused on a project and people at work, I had just taken a position in the communications office. And my counterparts on the IT side were like, isn't your boss ever get tired of you being off so much? And I was like, I'm not on vacation. And they were like, what? Hey, well, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm in chemotherapy. I have breast cancer. And they were just like, oh my gosh, we had no idea. Let us help you. And it just changes the whole narrative because they thought I was just rolling back in and privileged and just got to take a job on a project. And every time you turn around, I'm just off. I was like, because I had chemo every 3 weeks, I think it was, or something like that. And I was like, or every week or whatever it was. But I was like, I'm not on vacation. I'm in chemo. They did so much after that. It was another Black girl in another department who was my counterpart. But pressing through working every day, still doing my community events, still organizing events. I organized a Get Fitted and Make a Difference breast cancer event at Nordstrom's for Susan G. Komen the same day I had chemo. My girlfriend said that I said, oh, I'll be okay. I won't feel bad until the next day. So we can do the event today. It'll be fine. I said, did I? She said, yeah, you were on, like I was on steroids or something. Like it was a part of my coping mechanism though, people cope a lot of different ways. And I guess for me, it was to stay busy, to push and to press forward in spite of the setbacks. So I continued to work in the community and do my board work. I'm grateful. I was never sick, like nauseated type, how people get to where they can't eat or whatever, or they're throwing up all the time. And people said to me, are you going to be sick? You're going to be nauseated. You're going to feel like this. And I was like, I'm not claiming any of that. God and I had a conversation. I had a simple conversation with God. And it was simple. And I said to women, when you're going through something or anyone, it doesn't have to be a fancy, elaborate prayer. Summer, it can be simple. Whatever you can get out and believe in. And mine was, I believe I receive deliverance from nausea, diarrhea, upset stomach, all that, from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I agreed, dear Lord, to be tired. And I agreed to be tired. I agreed to sleep. And the reason why I made this very realistic agreement with God and asked him to bless me with this is because I know I'm busy and I knew I would need to sleep. I said, okay, I agree to need to sleep. I agreed to be fatigued and sleep. I don't agree to being sick, having diarrhea, and feeling nauseous. I don't agree to that. And I didn't. I never was. The people around me were like, oh, when I first started my chemo, oh, you're going to feel like this the next day. You're going to be throwing up. My oncologist was even like, when I got to my first appointment, did you take your nausea medication? I was like, no. It said, take it if you feel nauseated. She was like, Tanya. And I was like, well, I didn't feel nauseated, so I didn't take it. And I said, I took the designer drug that cost a lot of money because I spent $150 for 3 pills. So I took one of those. And she was like, what am I going? And both my surgeon and my oncologist were like, what are we going to do with you? But it was just a different space of a walk with God. And they were just like, she's just different. She is just different. But, I'm grateful for faith and believing and understanding. I think it is half the battle. Your attitude and how you respond to that type of challenge is half the battle. Because cancer doesn't just affect the person going through it, it affects your entire family. It's the husband, it's the children, it's sisters, it's best friends, it's your boyfriend, it's your girlfriend, whoever loves you deeply and dearly. Breast cancer is impacting them as well. It's robbing them as well.
So true. So true. Wow. I love that you said, staying positive and speaking that strength into existence, really praying.
Power of life and death is in the tongue.
Yeah. Having that faith, because that's one thing that keeps people healthy is having a positive mindset and keeping faith that you are going to make it through. The mind is powerful. And I think some people don't realize how your mouth is a powerful, specimen to use,
Well, the word says power, life, and death is in the tongue. I mean, and you see it all the time. You see it in the Bible. You see it in teaching sessions. Speak positivity. If you speak positivity, you manifest positive outcomes and results. But if you speak negativity, what are you you do? Eventually, you get way down. I mean, when we're going through something, and I believe in having really real conversations. So let's just be honest. When you're going through a breakup, if it's really bad or it's devastating, or you face divorce or something happens, you might say, "Oh my God, I just feel so broken." Well, if you keep saying, "I just feel so broken," eventually you're gonna feel broken. And you're going to buy so into the broken thought process that you're going to like, "Oh my God, wait a minute." You're tearing yourself down with the things that you say about yourself. So if you want to build yourself up, you have to say something that's going to build you up. And you might not even totally believe what you're saying when you start. But eventually you'll get where you need to be to settle in, to believe it, to buy into what you're saying about yourself, and to feel good about who you are. We don't feel good about ourselves every day, but I mean, you should feel good about something. But there are moments in life where it seems difficult and it seems rough, and those moments weigh us down. And it's just human.
Right.
The important thing is not to stay there at the bottom, to wallow in it, to know that God is there, and you can, there's restorative energy, and you're part of your own restorative energy.
What advice would you give yourself looking back from the first diagnosis to the third? What advice would you give yourself looking back at that?
There have been different points that have made, even if it's small, trivial, vain points of the entire journey that have made it what it is and brought me to where I am. I think I would say know and understand the totality of the reach of the impact of breast cancer compared to what you want. And I say that because I don't have children. And I think that whole journey impacted I know that whole journey impacted my childbearing years, because I started at 32. And at 32, you can still have children. And when you're building your career, it's around the time that people start to, have a family now. You get them in your 30s, and used to be old, but it's really not. And I didn't expect to have the option taken away like that by medical things. So I would just say, kind of know what you want, and maybe go for it. Or we spend so much time consumed by how society views the choices that we make in our lives. But different things are impacting your life. So if you can manage them, know what you want, and take the steps to try to put what you want in place so that you write the chapters. You don't not have to experience those chapters. I mean, I'm grateful for my child niece, but I didn't get to carry her. I just got to take care of her. And while she might look just like me, and you think that's my child, and it isn't at the same time for all of them, So, but I'm grateful for those relationships. I think that's really it. Because I've had 3 different times to assess and recalibrate. I think I applied in the 3rd round everything I learned in the 1st and the 2nd, and then some. The 1st round was shock. The 2nd round was anger. The 3rd round was all of that, plus let me understand every medicine you're giving me. Because of course I was triple positive with my breast cancer. I had ductal carcinoma in side 2, stage 0 twice. And then I had adenocarcinoma, stage 2A, the 3rd time. So just to kind of, for people going, what kind of breast cancer did she have? That was, the case. And then as a Black woman, I was triple positive. And a lot of Black women are triple negative, meaning the medicines that they've crafted for treating breast cancer don't necessarily work. But it's all they have to give you. When you're triple negative, they give them to you and hope and see if you will respond positively. Well, I was triple positive. So we knew they would work. And that was a blessing too. Horrible to have breast cancer, but luckily, at least I had the type that we knew could be treated.
Now that the
Yeah.
chapters have flipped and you've been through a lot of chapters in life with things and doing mighty things, and you got a T-shirt made today that signifies who you are today, because we know we're still continuing with our journey and writing our story. But what would that T-shirt say today?
Ooh. Today I'm also serving for my campaign, so it would say Tanya Flanagan for Assembly District 7. That's what it would say, vote Democrat. But on the back, I actually, and it's, I don't know what that T-shirt would say, but I will say that I am making a T-shirt for the campaign, and it will have that, Tanya Flanagan, vote Tanya Flanagan for Assembly District 7, as the logo on the front. But on the back, I want a breast cancer symbol. I want the breast cancer because my colors are pink and blue. Pink partly for women, for breast cancer, for women's health, and then also because I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority incorporated. So I need my pink in there, right? And then blue is my favorite color and was my mom's favorite color. I lost my mother to breast cancer as well. So the shirt is the logo on the front, and hopefully it's the breast cancer symbol on the back. And I did that because I asked the guy if I had a pink T-shirt and I wanted to be pink, would you wear it? If it had the breast cancer symbol on the back, he said I would. I said, but you wear it when the campaign is over. And he said, yes, because you put the breast cancer message on the back. I would carry the breast cancer message forward continuously. And I was like, that's cool. If I had a T-shirt for life, oh my God, what would that say today? I think it would say, with the journey that I've had and where I am, revel and enjoy living as your authentic self.
I like that.
Revel in and enjoy living as your authentic self.
That's powerful.
And if I only got to pick one word, I might say unapologetic.
Definitely that. Definitely that. Well, you've talked about your campaign, and I want you to elaborate more on, how did you get started? What can we do? What is it all about? Can you share with us about it? Because this is amazing to me, and I'm so honored to have you with Wrinkles. I wish I was in Vegas because I would be walking the streets with you, because I see them.
You can come. It's the state over. Don't play me, girl. Catch a plane and come on. I'll pick you up at the airport. We can go during the night. How did I get started? Really, this portion of who I am started when I was really a young girl, even my teen years, high school. I think I attended Martin Luther King Elementary School and Perseo Junior and Junior High School there in the Phoenix area. And I think that, we would study Dr. King, we would study the Civil Rights Movement. We understood the school for whom it was named and the sacrifices. And I think it all resonated with me in a different sort of way, to where I understood the sacrifice. And then my parents, let me say this too. My parents were both from Mississippi. So my dad was from a small town called Morton, and my mom was from Quitman, near Meridian, Mississippi. Morton is about 30 miles, I think, north of Jackson. But when you go every summer and then you learn about your history, but when you go and you see the red dirt, the sweltering heat, you feel the sweltering heat of oppression that King talks about when he's talking about speeches and movements and what they're doing. And when you see the outhouse and you see the fields and the horses and the chickens and the pigs and the corn, and you shelling peas and shucking corn, when you see the simplicity of the life, you see the shanties and the shacks and the tin roofs, and you hear the stories of not having shoes and lining them with newspaper. And Oprah's talked about taking the Sears Roebuck catalog out to the bathroom, to the outhouse, because there wasn't toilet paper. I think you begin to see the work and the sacrifice, the struggle. And I always understood, I guess, to whom much is given, much is expected. and watched my dad, the oldest boy of 11 out of 11 kids, not the oldest child, the second oldest, but out of 11 kids, forfeiting education on any given day because he was working in the field because of the family. And you learn about Jim Crowism and Reconstruction and subsistence living and land where you aren't a slave anymore. We let you live on this land, but everything you work on this land, you now have to give. So I think I've just been innately wired. So even in high school, I did programs. I was on the student body, captain of the cheer line, co-captain 1 year, junior achievement class, project president, things in church, and just always kind of servant leader oriented. And someone said to me, "Oh, you just, you're wired. Politics just keeps calling you in." I said, "No, I'm wired by God to serve. He just keeps combining the space with politics. I could do it perfectly fine the way I've been doing it, board service, community projects, whatever. But God combines it, and I think the reason for the combining is the exponential reach of space with regard to voice. This is about a legislature is very citizen centric, and so for me, it's always been grassroots organizing, if you will. I've served, I mentioned, on Susan G. Komen, the breast cancer organization. I've served here with an organization called the Greater Las Vegas After School All Stars, and they do after school programming for kids, kind of in disadvantaged, challenged communities, but after school programming for kids to help supplement what's happening in school and classrooms and exposure to activities that help you become a more well-rounded individual as you're growing. I've served with our urban chamber, which focuses on small business development for people of color who are in business. I've served with the Urban League, as I mentioned, and doing that. I love the Urban League from the age of 8. My brother was 16. He had a job through the Urban League. They both did. And my mom was like, "Can I get the babysitter, take your sister to work?" Greta was back in the days when you could get a summer job and your mama can make you go to work with your brother. So somehow my brother had this job through the Urban League at the Black Theater Troupe, which is still there in Phoenix doing programs. So his job was with the Black Theater Troupe. Well, I went to their job every day. And I ended up in the play that they were preparing for to put on at the end of summer as kids. But seeing the Urban League be the space where he got the job, I understood the benefits of Black families being able to put their kids in safe environments where they could learn some skills, improve their self-esteem, make their own money, feel independent, at the same time be exposed to aspects of Black culture that they maybe weren't learning in school, be exposed to the arts, and be in a safe environment. And it was all these teenagers, and I was 8 years old. They were like 16. And it was just very cool. I got it. I really just got it. And so when a lady named Mrs. Shropshire, who's also our Soror, Jacqueline Shropshire, came here from the East Coast, and she decided that she had been a huge urban leaguer on the East Coast. We needed that here, and she began to work and pull together some people. When I met her, she came to the office. I was working for Clark County government, where I work now, as a liaison to one of the commissioners, one of the elected officials, who also was our Soror, aka the power. You see this AKA family bomb, right?
Great.
So former county commissioner is an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman, as well as Mrs. Shropshire. And I said to Mrs. Shropshire, Jacqueline Shropshire, if you look her up, you'll find her story is fascinating, on History Makers through Discovery Channel and all that stuff, Library of Congress. But I said, if I can do anything, I'd like to support the Urban League. I'd like to work. And she said, she kept it in mind. And when the time came, I went through the process and became a board member. And I was the youngest board member. And in that role, I was asked to establish the Urban League Young Professionals, which even there in Phoenix, there should be an Urban League Young Professionals chapter under Mr. Dean, George Dean, who's the president and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Urban League. And so I did that and went on to become the Western Region Vice President. So I served on the national board for the region. So Arizona, California, Alaska, Denver, I had about 9 Urban League chapters that were under my leadership as the Vice President for the Western region. And so I've just always really been wired to do that which is good, where I can visionarily see an impact and make some change to offer that. So yeah. Well, I think one of the proudest moments in my recent adult life was I received our Laverne S. Tarkington Leadership Development Award for the Far Western region of Alpha Kappa Alpha last year. And it was important because I do a lot of work in the community. And sometimes it's not just specific to AKA. And you know how we roll, like if it didn't happen in AKA, did it happen? You know, like if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around here, did the tree fall? So when I got that award, it was, I feel that way sometimes, but it was everything. And so when they looked at it, it was a matter of what leaders had I developed as a whole. And I was like, that is such a cool. And it made me pause to look at lives that have touched people who touched my life. And I guess I've touched their lives, because you see what the programs have done to grow kids and to grow young people in their professional life. And it's nice to be a part of that.
So nice. That is amazing. I love all of it. So how do we support you?
Well, thank you for asking. I have a website. It's votetanyaflanagan.com. So it's just my name. Vote www.votetanyaflanagan.com. I am on most of your social handles, Facebook and Twitter. My name, Tanya Flanagan, and I think Twitter has the underscore between it, but Facebook's just Tanya Flanagan. And then my Instagram is Tanya Flanagan NV 87 for Nevada Assembly District 7. And I'm going to say this unhumbly and just boldly, because we have Black people running for office all across the country sometimes. And we think that campaigns just miraculously have money. They don't. They have us. They have you, and they have me. And every little thing counts. And we can see more people of color that we believe are fighting for our beliefs or our values in office to do good work. And we can support their good work if we can support their campaigns with any amount in terms of a contribution. You can donate on my website, votetanyaflanagan.com. But those contributions make a huge difference. There's so much to do. And in the legislative space, it's a 4 to 6 month session. Here in Nevada, we go up every other year. I will take work off work without pay. So it's very important to have these contributions, because they help me to be able to run the office.
Definitely.
So I'm grateful to anyone who, please donate to my campaign. Please help me win this race. Please help me realize this goal. If you have $5, $10, $20, $30, $50, $100, $2,000, whatever you're willing to give, from the small to the large, please help me win this race. And I say to my sorors, we can impact so much. Just like 300,000, really over 300,000 of us who are financial and active. $10 a week, and we would generate $3 million to fund campaigns. That's real. To my National Urban League family, invest in a former Urban League YP. Vote TanyaFlanagan.com. Make a contribution to the campaign. So, and to just the person out there who understands or doesn't understand, this is one of the simplest ways you can impact a campaign. You can like somebody, because I hear these conversations all day. You can like somebody. Campaigns cost money. There's no pipe. You are that pipeline. Support it. Give up Starbucks for a week. Go on ActBlue, because it's an ActBlue platform. They set it up for candidates. I have the same thing. And you can set up a recurring donation. I'm grateful and thankful to all those who have donated to my campaign thus far. Thank you so much for believing me and supporting me. But you can $10 a week or a month till someone's campaign is over. I have a primary in June. The general election is in November. I go up for the session next year in January. So, yeah.
Well, let's go.
Thank you. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's win. Vote
Let's win.
TanyaFlanagan.com. That's
Like I
you know,
said,
that's it. And you get to see, you'll also get to read, credentials, who I am, what I've done. Learn more about my mom, my dad, you know. Daddy's 85. We lost my mom when I was 29. Breast cancer spread to her liver and her bone. But she's a story too, because when we sat with the doctor, he said when it came back in her liver, I thought she lived 6 months, and she lived another 2.5 years. And it was just her diet, her attitude, her faith. And God has a way of wrapping everything up and finishing, bringing it, not that it stays perfect, but like it settles into the space that it should occupy, that it maybe makes a little sense in a way. And you die at a moment of peace, because it seems like the people that you love the most around you are in the safest space that they can be in for you to let go and go on. And it seemed like that when she passed. But my mom was my best friend. She was the epitome of a mother. Girl, I ain't never seen nothing like it. She could cook, she could sew. My mama, her hair was always done. That woman she was just a kind person, just a kind person.
I definitely didn't get to meet her, but I have to say she raised an amazing woman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and thank you for having me on Wrinkles to talk today.
I'm so happy you came, and I really do challenge social workers. I know you have talked to the Sorors, but I challenge those here in Phoenix to support as well. But I also challenge social workers, since I'm a social worker, because what I love is, as I've been following Tanya, is that she's a change agent. And as a social worker, we are change agents. She wants to make change. She's real about change. She's in the streets getting children haircuts, things like that. It's time that people are out here doing real things, are actually in the storefront of making change. So, like she said, a donation of anything that you can donate will help her campaign. We know how hard it is to try to make change, but you have to have money in order to continue on to go forward to make that change. So please, I'm pleading to you all to donate to her as well. And I am so blessed that you came to the Wrinkles family today.
Thank you for having me. I mean, and you mentioned the kids and the haircuts. It's this group called Barber's Arc, and they just voted me on the board on Wednesday. But I met them. Barbers Acts of Random Kindness. And folks, their focus is to give kids haircuts, needy kids who are homeless, kids who are in foster care, kids who've been through the system. They've been through the system. They, made it through. They're barbers. Some substance abuse, some, prison time, just the things that the path life takes you down when your childhood can be interrupted and incomplete. But to make it out to the other side, and then to look back and go, you know what? This is what my profession is. Can I bring some more kids into this space and show them that there's a life with this profession? There's independence. There's gainful employment. You can have a family. Can I get them some skills? So that's part of the whole thing, right? But when I met him, I was like, Barbara's Acts of Random Kindness, Barbara's Arc. And I came up with the tagline for him, leaving not one behind. Because, Noah's Ark, he got a little bit of everything God told him to. Barbara's Arc, leaving not one behind. Barbara's Acts of Random Kindness, we do haircuts for those who are in need. And, they're branching it out and spreading. And it is just a cool thing. It's a cool thing. And so I'm happy to be working with them. We did a first event in my assembly district where I'm running. I wanted to I didn't want to always have an event asking people to give me money. I wanted to just have some give back. And so we're working on our second one, but I wanted to just have some give back. And I thought this was cool. So a guy who owns a barbershop in the district was willing to get on board, had nothing to do with it. But yeah, I'll put up my shop on a Sunday. You can come in and you can cut hair. And we had some vendors and stuff out, had a food truck out. So it's just been cool and we're just pushing and pressing forward. And I have an idea for a huge fundraiser for them. So it's going to take a minute to pull it together. But I think people will come from other places to have some fun with us when we figure it out. It'll be kind of a scavenger hunt type of thing. So I'll keep you posted. But when I flush it out. But yeah, cool. Good work. Good stuff. And I said that because I can ask for money for anything for a child in a minute. When you're running for office, it is difficult to ask for money because I feel like at first time I ever ran, I felt like I was doing something. But I realized I'm not doing something. I am just the person that's doing it for us. And we collectively have to support it because I'm going to represent people who live in my area, people who look like me, everyday working families, struggling through different things, dealing with the economy, needing better jobs, better housing, better roads and infrastructure solutions. I'm going to fight for all of that. And in going to fight for all of that, that's a fight for us. That's not just me. I mean, if I was to slip it, check it out for just me, I'm cool in my house. I have a car. I got clothes. I have a place to sleep and eat. I got food. I'm okay. So to take time off of my regular job without pay to go fight for better things for everyone as much as I can for everyone, yeah, we need to contribute. We contribute. We are that. So that's why I say please donate to the campaign because that's a we fight. That's not a me fight. It's a we fight.